So now it's time to create our add items method. If we copy the name, as you can see, we are passing actually our property here, underscore ID, which has already been assigned the value from lastly generated ID when we were creating the order record. We could leave it and just call the method like this. However, passing the parameter allows us later on, if let's say someone's calling you as one of the clients saying, can I add another item to my order? Obviously, without this, we would have to find a way around this to add the new item to the order itself. And having this parameter, we can also add items to the existing order. So let's keep it like this, and let's start building our new method. So if we scroll after the last one, a few new lines, and we're going to start by typing private function add items, and we're expecting one parameter order underscore ID, which by default has null assigned to it, and we check if is an empty order ID. Then we're going to do something, and right after this we return false, because obviously if we haven't got order ID, that means that we're not going to be able to add any items. Okay, first of all, we create error array, and it's going to be an empty array. Now we start for each this underscore items as item. Actually, we could also check if items isn't empty. However, we've already done this in a previous method, and if it was empty, this method wouldn't ever be executed. So we don't really have to do it at this stage, as you can see. So if items as item, for each items as item, and now we start with a SQL statement equals insert into this table 2, which is our table order items, and now we're going to put the fields order, then we have product, then we have price, then we have quantity, then we close the bracket, and then we have values, and let's start with the single quotes in the curly braces, order ID as the first one, which has been passed as the parameter to this specific method. Then we had single quote, double quote, and we have item ID. Then we have comma, single quote, item price, then concatenating again, double quote, single quote after this, comma. We don't really have to obviously use single quotes for the price and for IDs for numerical values. However, I tend to always use them simply because if there's ever the situation that we are missing the value, then we're gonna start getting errors and so on, and I always prefer to avoid this kind of situations, obviously when the application is live, so that clients shouldn't see any errors basically. So after the price we have comma, single quote, and we do this underscore basket item ID as parameter, and then we want quantity from the specific session. So of this specific item, I want to find out how many of them they've added to the basket. So this is another one, then single quote, closing bracket, and after double quote, semicolon. So this is our SQL statement. Now after the SQL statement, we can check if this, with the exclamation mark if it isn't, so this db query SQL, so if it wasn't successfully executed, if we scroll down so you can actually see it a little bit better, then we want to add to error array, so error equals SQL. And after this for each statement, we return empty error, we return true, otherwise we return false, which means basically if errors array is empty, then that means everything has been executed successfully. Otherwise there was a problem, and return false. So that's all inside of this add items method. So we can close this file for now. And in the next video, we're going to go back to our paypal.php file.